Notre Dame recruiting rolls on with another elite prospect committing to Marcus Freeman and the Fighting Irish.
Locked On presents The Portal, the daily podcast covering college football recruiting and everything NIL. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome back into the Portal Podcast, where you get your daily recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. I'm Brian Smith, longtime college football writer and recruiting analyst. Thank you for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in to get all your latest news. Today's show is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet is a winner. Fighting Irish come up with yet another commitment. I believe this is number 16 for Marcus Freeman and his crew. The Fighting Irish have a top 5 recruiting class right now in the class of 26 by just about any measurements. Balance, explosiveness, impact players, meeting needs. Notre Dame is doing a very, very good job. The newest player, Jonaz Walton, running back, Central High School, Carrollton, Georgia, 5'9", 5'10", 212 pounds as of what he told me on Monday when I stopped by to see him at practice. This is a young man with tree trunks for legs. He looks like an NFL running back right now, physically. I was surprised at just how defined he was, because when I walked up and they were warming up at practice for Central and he comes by and just gets in the line, I'm like, that's 195 pounds? That's what I'd seen him listed at. I'm like, there's no way. And sure enough, when I asked him, he said, yeah, I'm 212. I've been over 200 pounds for a minute now. And he certainly plays that way as well. So here are the attributes for him. Here are the statistics, and why I think Notre Dame did a really good job of getting this young man. Florida, Stanford, Alabama, a whole bunch of programs went after him. He told me Stanford and Florida were probably the next 2 programs. But here are the baseline for why I like him. Then we're going down into the stats. All around, this is a young man that catches the football. He blocks. He plays special teams. He will carry out fakes. He does all the little things in addition to toting the football. If you're going to play in the modern era and be a running back, you have to be able to do all the significant things that help a team win, not just run over a linebacker or make a defensive back miss. Jonaz Walton does that, but he does all the other things too. There are very few guys that come out of high school that are willing blockers, that have the hands that he does. They put him at slot at Central and run fly patterns with him. He is a unique football player. Make sure you dive into his film, and I've got some key points later in the show I'm going to discuss as well. Number 2, this is a guy that between the tackles, yeah, he's 212 pounds. You better buckle the chin strap. He's going to put a thumping on you if you're not careful. He's got the nimble feet to make you miss. But as his film shows, there are a few guys that probably wish they took a different angle or maybe got their pads just a little bit lower. Really good at just lowering the boom, if you will. Not necessarily a guy that looks to do it every play, but when he does, Walton has a lot of power. Speaking of a great attribute, he recently ran a 10.64 in the 100 meters. That's a verified time in the Georgia High School Athletic Association. That is a very important thing for a running back. If you've got elite speed, when you make the first guy miss, or as Walton does, runs over somebody, you've got to be able to capitalize. Can you score? Jonaz Walton is certainly capable of doing that. Now, this is the part that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't gone to see him at practice this week. Mentality. He was roughly 195, 200 pounds last year. He's up to 212, and it's not just bulk. His lower body is insanely put together, like he's going to squat a house. Very big legs. He's changed his frame for the better. He was already a good player, but he's taken that next step. That's between the ears. Jonaz Walton has earned that. Those types of players, in my experience, tend to do well at the college and sometimes the NFL level. Number 5, passing game. I kind of touched on it earlier. Don't run him on fly routes. Don't throw a pass to him in the flat. The very first play of Jonaz Walton's huddle film, Jonaz catches a screen after he carries out the fake really good. As soon as the lineman gets past, he turns around. Up, there it is. Big play, makes guys miss, goes all the way down the field. This is how you play football all around. I touched on that as well. But seeing a running back play his first play as a passing play is rare because not that many guys do these little things. So I just want to go back to that as well. All-around football player. Number 6, this is the final part, personality, the drive, all the things that make a guy great. He had Stanford and Notre Dame as 2 schools he was really looking at. He obviously is somebody that takes academics serious, so that's good for the coaching staff because he's low maintenance. That might be my 2 favorite words in recruiting right now and for the NFL draft. If you want to go higher in the recruiting rankings or the NFL draft, be low maintenance. Be an elite student. Be somebody that just says, yes, sir. Don't ask a million questions on why you got to do something. Jonaz Walton fits all of those profiles. When we come back, I'm going to break down his huddle film, why I think he's such a great player in some of these different clips. I'm going to give you the time to go look at it, and I'll link it down below for those of you who want to take a look at it. It's really worth your time. Again, Jonaz Walton's huddle film is very, very good. Special teams, catching the football, playing in the slot. He does a little bit of everything. That is next here on the Portal Podcast. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and to win big. For me, with the NBA playoffs, this has always been something that I'm fascinated with. Who gets hot in the second half? Who's the guy that pops off for 10, 12 points in the third or the fourth quarter? Maybe somebody only had like 5 points in the entire first half. Who's going to be that player? So later on in the game, that's something that I would look at. New to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head over to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. We'll just kind of go over some of the things that he did on film. Again, to reiterate those points, I gave 6 from all around to personality, catching the football and all that. But here are the points, if you just want to skip through the film, if you don't have a lot of time, that I would go to. Now, the first minute of about anybody's highlight film is good. The very first clip is great. You don't have to really go anywhere for that. It's the first one, like just over the line of scrimmage, catches the ball, takes it down the field. That's great. But here are some of the other ones that I loved. There's a player in every football stadium that has the easiest touchdown in the world, and they screw it up just because they don't use good vision or they get a little too greedy with how they approach the line of scrimmage, whatever it is. Patience and how you use your footwork, the correct path, is important. They had the ball. Central was down near their own 10, 15-yard line, and they just went into a power formation, like 3 tight ends. Here we come. Jonaz runs off left tackle. But it's not just that the hole opened up. It's a good hole. It's the exact angle that he took. This play is on the 150 mark of his huddle film. I highly suggest you watch it and go through it a couple of times. Watch his feet. Watch him take an angle to where the safety over-pursued down too hard and he burned himself. And Jonaz made sure he had no chance. Maximize when somebody makes a mistake. Walton did that, and he scored. Number 2, it's the most not just explosive, ridiculous play that he had. There's a hurdle. He goes over 2 guys. It's awesome. That is at the 211 mark. That's all I'm going to say. Just watch it. 221. This is the one that surprised me the most. He's not the tallest guy. He's maybe 5'10". That might be pushing it. And they put him in the slot, ran a go route with a guy playing off coverage, ran by him. Safety comes over. Doesn't matter. Walton still catches the football. There aren't many running backs that are that kind of frame that really even get that chance, let alone make the play. That one is 221. 243. This is old school football, and it's just entertaining because I like the contact part of the game. 243. Power right. He kind of bounces it a little bit. It was meant to be an A gap or a B gap, but he cuts out to the right. And there's one guy that's got him dead to rights to tackle him, or maybe tackle him. At least that's what he thought. He got plowed. I mean, Walton just puts the hammer down on him. And I knew, again, from seeing him at practice that he was powerfully built, but I hadn't seen his film probably in a couple of months at least. I go through these quite a bit. a lot of the kids around the country. But it was a reminder just how much strength he had then. And he's added, again, more strength, more size, and more speed since his junior film. At the 328 mark, he doesn't even get the ball. But one could argue it's the most important play on the entire film. Walton is playing as a sniffer, H-back, however you want to call it, on the left side. The ball is ran to the left, and he blocks down. A lot of guys just kind of get in the way, then they move off to the side because they really don't want to deal with blocking. If they're a running back, they're a receiver, whatever. Walton smacks this dude. He took it serious. He extended his arms. Those are the kind of plays that will show his teammates, hey, I'm the star, but I'm willing to do the dirty work too. That's a very good sign for not only his time at Central, he's got one more year left, but at Notre Dame and possibly the NFL. If you're going to do those little things, the NFL scouts, I can guarantee you, will notice. 335, just going left. It was a play. They ran the ball directly ahead. It was an A-gap play, and he takes a couple of shuffle steps left, and he's off to the races. Not a lot of guys would see it. It was pretty well defensed, but Walton found a way to make a play. And again, safety didn't take the best angle. Make him pay. Walton did it. Then the speed comes into play and the natural power to fend off guys. Finally, when you look at him overall, just watching these plays, there's something that I noticed in general. A lot of running backs don't do a good job when they get hit low of staying on balance, even bigger guys that are strong. For whatever reason, and I don't know how I would define this, it happened a bunch of times at the plays I mentioned and throughout his film. Walton doesn't allow ankle tackles to really be that impactful. You got to put a licking on him for him to go down. He's going to be very good for the Irish as an after contact yards per carry guy. I bet you it'll be 3+ yards per carry after contact in order to be consistent. Very, very strong and very, very nimble. Now, what's next for Notre Dame? Just want to mention a couple of things. They probably have a top 5 class, again, by any measurement right now. Secondarily, they probably have a class that has a chance to finish in the top 3 for the first time, and I don't even know how long. The reason is balance and a few more elite guys. To that point, they've got a bunch of big official visit weekends coming up in June. They're not right away, but in June. Just want to mention 3 guys that are unique recruitments. They may or may not get, but they could determine whether or not Notre Dame finishes in that top 3. Take it for whatever it's worth. Dre Quinn from Greater Atlanta Christian. Clemson's the school I'm watching here. They get the first crack at him, and then he goes to Notre Dame, I think the weekend after or the second weekend, whatever it is. But he's got a Clemson visit, I believe, first. Probably going to end up being Clemson or Notre Dame. We'll see. Dre Quinn, 6'5", 230, very twitchy athlete, plays on the edge at Greater Atlanta Christian. Great kid, great academics. He kind of fits Notre Dame and Clemson very, very well. I'm curious to see where he goes. Texas, Georgia, Bama, all kinds of schools are still after him. But right now, Clemson or Notre Dame are probably the best bets. Kari Adams, I don't know where this kid's going. Just an elite safety, an elite nickel, an elite corner, whatever you wanted him to play. I think he could play any of those spots in the secondary. Corner is the most likely for him, but Kari is not a guy that I would just limit to that. Good tackler, physical, has the ability to hit, and he's got the length. He plays in Towson, Maryland, just outside of Baltimore at Loyola Bakefield, and I don't know where he's going. Oregon, could be Penn State, could be Notre Dame, could be a lot of places. He's got an offer from pretty much every school in the country, but in my opinion, he's a top 100 kid, probably top 50. He's my number 2 or number 3 corner in the country because of his size and his ability to be physical. I like him a lot. And then finally, this is a kid they're expected to get now, but still don't know. His dad played for Texas, was an NFL great. Caden Finley. He is out of the Dallas area, and he's a player that has been recruited, much like a lot of the other young men Notre Dame has committed already. He's been recruited by a lot of programs. Notre Dame seems to be trending for him. He's one of the better receivers in Texas, which says a lot right there, and he is a priority recruit for the Fighting Irish. Thank you once again for making the Portal Podcast your first listen each and every day. Truly appreciate you stopping in and get all your latest recruiting, NIL, and transfer portal scoop. This is Brian Smith signing off. Everybody have a good one, and I will see you again soon.